Okay, Sounds of Decay 1 is the new album from Muskeg Charnel, Decomposition Part 4, Livor Mortis. It's been said the only things we can't escape are death and taxes. But while few feel compelled to create the odes to audits and W-2s, that'd be an interesting concept album. An all accountant death metal record. Hey, we got bored at H.R. Block. We decided we were going to do something about it. Anyway, death holds a special kind of reverence, an almost macabre fascination. Consider the enduring popularity of things like Faces of Death or other horror films, mummification, and of course, death metal. Enter Muskeg Charnel, a one-man project cloaked in its own funerary mystery.
Its sole creator, known only as Wretch, plays everything. Because really, who else could survive this stench? Hailing from, and I swear I am not making this up, Erie, Pennsylvania. Wretch is a one-man death ritualist bent on dismantling the decay process, one stage at a time. With each album, he opens the morgue door just a little wider, candle in hand, inviting us deeper into the dark. Don't mind the maggots. This time we arrive at Decomposition Part 4, Livor Mortis, the stage when blood obeys gravity and drains to the body's lowest points, staining flesh in ominous purple and reds. Even the band's name is a rabbit hole. Muskeg refers to a peat-rich swamp, and Charnel is a repository for skeletal remains, the kinds of places where time forgets and flesh ferments.
You think he like works as a you think he like works as like a autopsy surgeon or something?
Or maybe an assistant, who knows?
Maybe that's why he's got to be anonymous because he doesn't want to lose his teaching job. Anyway, go ahead.
Wretch sets the tone with grotesque precision, crafting his own Canterbury tales. Only instead of pilgrims and relics, we get putrefaction and demise. Across 10 tracks, the runtime varies as wildly as decomposition rates themselves. Most hover around the 3-minute mark, with one as brief as 2 minutes and others stretching 5 to 7. The result is 41 minutes of music that seep into your ears like formaldehyde into tissue.
Have you checked out the decomposition rates lately? I cannot afford to do business. Anyway, discoloration sets the scene for this descent into rot, opening with over 30 seconds of squelchy, ominous strips and the incessant drone of flies. It's the sound of something festering in the dark. Then the drums tumble in like a body falling down a flight of stairs before setting into a dark, funereal thud. There's no shortage of quick tremolo passages and off-kilter guitar notes that feel ever so slightly possessed, like the riffs themselves are decomposing mid-performance. Wretch's vocals swing from a grating, scathing scream to a ghoulish moan, dragging you down into the ooze with every phrase. Near the track's end, the drums accelerate like the heart rate of a jump scare victim, pounding with full-blown panic before it all dissolves into a slow, haunted fade-out.
Livor Mortis is the title track and takes the cake as a sprawling 7-minute runtime. It opens with soft, incessant beats like an Energizer bunny pounding out a frantic warning from inside a coffin. The notes emerge unhurried and sauntering until a tight passage snaps in like a rubber band stretched to its limit. The vocals arrive as a tag team of gutter growls, sometimes dropping into a demonic depth dredged from hell itself. Around the halfway mark, the drums slide into a more subdued, doomy groove. As the vocals retreat, deeper tremolos surface like buried bones poking through soil. A piano-like melody, once buried in the din, rings out with eerie clarity, slower but with the same quiet desolation as the Westworld intro. It returns like a ghost by itself at track's end, as reverb-drenched riffs and a chunky bass tone make your blood start to pool. Mid-paced stick falls anchor the tension while toad-like croaks gurgle over diminished riffs, until all is invaded by another anxiety-laced tremolo line. By the finale, blast beats rip into rapid fire, while layers of wistful notes and jagged guitar lines stagger off like limbs, forgetting they were once a part of a whole.
You mentioned the Energizer Bunny. We never got an answer to the question from like season 2. Is the Playboy Bunny actually a drug dealer that sells cocaine to the Energizer Bunny? And that's why he's so rampant.
It's possible.
Anyway, let's play a clip.
This is Livor Mortis.
Okay, continuing on. 3 tracks focus on ancient bodies preserved in peat bogs, murdered, mummified by accident, and kept intact by the earth itself. I went down yet another rabbit hole reading about Livor Man and Grauballe Man, who appear as subjects of songs on this album. It's surprisingly haunting to realize how well these ancient beings were preserved. Hands still intact, skin still textured, hair still braided, dating all the way back to 300 BC. My favorite track was Grauballe Man, with its churning, agitated guitars and quick, soft piano synth notes that add a layer of intrigue. A guitar briefly wails out a sad little tale, as fleeting as this poor unfortunate victim's life. Drums swing from furiously seething kick patterns to delicate cymbal crashes. Wretch's vocals are raspy and dry, as if that bog mummy was reaching through the eons to complain about being exhumed, poked, CT scanned, and gut analyzed, because we are curious about his Last Supper. Later, the drums churn like a mixer, beaters falling silent and then springing back to life. Willowy guitar riffs shiver across your spine like a whisper from the grave. Also of note is the irreversible process of decay, which opens with a spoken sample of what sounds like a medical examiner describing crunchy brain tissue during an autopsy. Yep, definitely skipping breakfast after that. Later, deep, dark riffs creep in like someone's inspecting the corpse, while the bass shifts nervously foot to foot.
The closing track, Preserved in Peat, is a must hear on this deep dive into mortality. Distant, unintelligible voices mumble like archaeologists on the other side of a crypt wall. Then a clearer voice, possibly a journalist, speaks about mental health and suicide. Off-tune notes plunk out, while Wretch's vocals mimic a creaky door summoned from the back of his throat. Low vibrating riffs trudge through the muck as doomy spells deepen. Drums fall not with the speed of the earlier tracks, but slowly, like an intermittent windshield wipers. A background layers in like a distant cosmic wind, and when it collides with a wailing guitar line, the menace peaks. Things slow down to a near crawl before we're left with wet, bubbling drips and the return of those ever-present flies. Slam the morgue door. This descent into decay is complete. Well, we escaped the slab this time. One day, it will be all of our final stops. But for now, Wretch continues to document the journey, one stage at a time. I guess next up is putrefaction, and I can already feel my organs liquefying in anticipation of another maggoty slab from Muskeg Charnel. Let's play a song. This is Grauballe Man.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.